Hello everybody and welcome to Jake Kaplan's Land Rover Jaguar here on Bald Hill Road in Warwick, Rhode Island. And today we're looking at the 2025 Land Rover Range Rover Sport. It is in this beautiful color green with a really fantastic interior, and I'm going to show you all those things. But most importantly, it's a car show, so let's talk about the engine. This has 395 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque, thanks to an inline straight six engine with a 48-volt electric architecture. Now, the other thing this comes in is the plug-in hybrid variant, which also is the turbocharged straight six, but that can go 56 miles on electric range only. The new Range Rover Sport has been redesigned from the ground up with this beautiful new body, and it's much sleeker. It has a much better coefficient of drag, so it goes through the air better, which you don't usually put with Range Rovers. Also, I'd like to show you, it has these beautiful headlights, a new slick and sleek grille, and the thing I really like that Land Rover did, I don't know if you notice this in a lot of luxury cars, everything has a lot of cameras, which we'll talk about later, but this has it all integrated into this grille here, so they're not all over the front of the car, which I really like. One of the things I really love about the new Sport, and I've built a lot of these online, by the way, go to landrover.com and build some. These are the optional 23-inch wheels, and I personally think these are the most handsome wheel on this vehicle. They come with Pirelli Scorpion Mud and Snow tires, and these are a 285/40/23, and I think they fit the vehicle perfectly. Like most Land Rover products, this has terrain response and of course that fantastic air suspension. So when you're getting out of the vehicle, it gets nice and low so you don't have to jump out. And then when you're off-road or you have obstacles, or if you're just in a parking lot and you need to get over a big curb, you can always lift and raise the suspension, which you can also do in the back of the vehicle, which I'll show you here shortly. One thing I really like about the new Range Rover Sport is the rear of it. We have beautiful exhaust tips here, which are actually metal, which you will not find on a lot of luxury vehicles, and it differentiates itself from its bigger brother with these horizontal tail lights as opposed to the vertical ones on the big Range Rover. Now, I really like the size of the Range Rover Sport. I think it has plenty of room inside, plenty of room outside, yet it's easy enough to park, especially with the 360 camera. The other thing I'm going to show you is the cavernous trunk, which of course is power, as this is a luxury vehicle. Ta-da! And if you come in close, one thing I love about the Range Rover Sport is that you can adjust the rear suspension in the back here to lower the vehicle to make it much easier to put your groceries in. How cool is this? Not only is it a super unique feature and super useful, but it's really cool to show your friends. Another thing in the Range Rover Sport is that it comes with a full-size spare, which is very rare in these modern times where you usually just get a can of goo. But if you're off-road or you get a flat, let me tell you, especially around here, you definitely want to have a full-size spare tire. Another few things to note, this has a nice cover to cover your nice fancy things that you've bought in your new Range Rover, possibly at the mall, or to just cover your terrible kids. No, kid. Don't put that in there. And of course, we have power folding seats here and another 12-volt connection for charging in the rear. So if you're tailgating, you have a place to charge your phone. Now to the interior of the 2025 Range Rover Sport, and I think this is its party piece. Everything in here is a head and shoulders above not only the Range Rover previously, the Sport, but a lot of other luxury vehicles. There are so many soft touch surfaces in this vehicle, even on the lower pieces where you find it's going to be like scratchy plastic, is super nice on these. We have sealed doors on here, so it's nice and quiet on the highway. Of course, we have our memory seats, all of our mirror controls here, lock and unlock. Beautiful Range Rover, and look at these seats, they are so cushy. We took one of these for a ride. As a matter of fact, a family member was looking at one, and I don't recall if I've ever ridden in a car that is more comfortable and quiet than this Range Rover Sport. We had it on this really crowded, loud roadway behind us, and it was so serene and so lovely. It feels everything of its asking price. So let's take a peek at the inside. Now, on the inside of the 2025 Range Rover Sport, I really love this interior. I know this is a personal thing, and I'll tell you why I love it. We have the beautiful soft touch stitch dashboard. As you can tell, I'm a very tactile person. We love that. We have our central screen that controls our navigation and all of our terrain select modes and our air conditioning, HVAC, and what have you. And what I really like is it's almost Volvo-esque, nice Scandinavian, almost German design where it's nice and clean here. There's not 1,000 things, but there is a bunch of storage. We have our shifter here, which I actually love an actual shifter because everything's like a button now. I love having the shifter. We have our start button, In here, all kinds of storage. We can wirelessly charge our phone. We have 2 cup holders here. And of course, this vehicle comes with an optional refrigerator here in the center console, big enough for 4 drinks. Now that's luxury. This has the Meridian sound system. There are 2 types of sound systems that come with this vehicle, and they're both excellent, I can tell you from experience. Panoramic sunroof. We have this beautiful 2-tone steering wheel. And something I really like, Automotive steering wheels are getting so thick, and I don't have the world's most manly hands, but I prefer a slightly thinner steering wheel. It just, I don't know, it just reminds me of a luxury car. If you look at Rolls Royces of old, and even newer Rolls Royces, they have that nice thin rim steering wheel that I really like. This is a nice 2-tone brown and black. We have our cruise control, our Bluetooth, and our, most importantly, radar cruise control, which is great for those long trips. Another thing I really love about a lot of Range Rover products, and this one's included, is it has the dual glove box. I find I never have enough room. This has a cavernous lower one and a super useful tall one here in the top, and it has a charging port. Easy to close, easy to use, and again, nice soft touch surfaces, that of a premium vehicle. Another thing I'd like to point out is that I love the way they did the HVAC grills. It just flows beautifully on this interior. They really killed it. Now I'm gonna have you come inside. I'm gonna show you a couple cool things that we can do on the screen. Now look at this beautiful digital display we have here. It is super easy to read, and the nice thing is, because Land Rover's designed it properly, it never gets too much sun in it, and it's unreadable like a lot of other screens. Now if we move over here to the large screen, I'm going to show you a couple neat things. So we have our shortcuts for our air conditioning, our auto start stop, and we can do all kinds of things with the heating and cooling of the seats. But what I really want to show you is over here. So if we go into seats, we can actually adjust the seat from this screen, the headrest, the bolsters, the lumbar, and the cushion, which I think is really, really neat. And we can also go into chauffeur mode. Now, as this is a Range Rover product, as I showed you in the back, we can adjust the ride height. So currently, we're in auto. We're gonna go to normal right now, and we're rising in the rear and rising in the back. I don't know if we can see that. And then there's also an access height. So when you get out of the vehicle, it lowers itself all the way down so you don't have to jump out of the vehicle. And like I mentioned earlier, we also have an off-road height, which lifts us all the way up so we can get over large objects. We also have a 4x4 mode. We can see that locking and unlocking differential in the front. We have wade sensing abilities. It tells us our altitude. We have different trail modes for mud, ruts, sand. We have a wade mode. So if you're going through lots of water, and sometimes we get crazy floods here in Rhode Island, it will show you exactly how much water you are going through. And this can wade, this vehicle, which is a sporty vehicle, can wade up to 2 foot 11 inches of water without intrusion of water. Isn't that insane? One thing I really like is this 3D view of the vehicle, which gives us a nice 3D view of the Range Rover in the parking lot. And then we have our 360 camera here to make sure that we're not bumping into anything wherever we're going. I want to thank Jake Kaplan, Land Rover and Jaguar, for letting me check out this fantastic Range Rover Sport. Anytime I can check out a Range Rover or Jaguar product, obviously I want to check it out. I'm blown away by the quality of the new Range Rover Sport and the Range Rover, which we'll be reviewing soon. Stay tuned. And I just want to thank them again for letting us check this out in this beautiful color combination. And now, back to the auto show.